Hey guys, it's S with Osprey Bushcraft, and today we're going to be doing a long-term review on the Camillus titanium bonded camp knife. Let's get to it. So I picked up this particular knife at Walmart about 3 years ago for $11 with tax, if I remember right. So just right off the bat, this is a knife that I purchased at Walmart, and it's a Camillus knife. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm just gonna roll with it. So let's first go over the specs of this knife. So right off the bat, it's got a 9.5 total length total from tip to the end of the knife here. It is full tang. It has a blade length of 4.75 inches, and the blade itself is made from 420 stainless steel that is titanium bonded according to the manufacturer's website. And the blade itself has a hollow grind, so if you look at it from straight on, you can actually see how the blade narrows and dips down in the classic hollow grind look. And according to the manufacturer, it has a Rockwell hardness level of 52, which is quite soft in my opinion for a general purpose bushcraft or camp knife, but we will get into that later. It has a rubberized handle, and it has a little bit of texturing here, and it's actually quite comfortable in the hand. It doesn't slip a lot, in my opinion, even when it's soaking wet, and I find it to be quite ergonomic. I don't have large hands, but I don't think they're particularly small either. So even with my, I'd say, medium woman hands, I still have quite a bit of space left here and here. So I would imagine even if you have larger hands than I do, you would not have a problem with the size of this handle or the ergonomics. It came with a lanyard hole right here, as I'm sure you can see, but the way it came out of the box, it was actually not wide enough for me to get standard 550 paracord through, so I actually had to drill it open a little bit more and so I could fit my paracord through so I could make my lanyard. So even though it does come with a lanyard hole, please be aware that, at least for me, on this particular model that I have, it was too small for me to get 550 through, so I had to make some modifications. The knife itself comes with a pretty standard cheap leather sheath. As you can see, I removed the Camillus logo that was on here, but no complaints about this leather sheath. I mean, it works. That's pretty much all you can ask for a sheath that comes with a $11 knife. You just slide it in like this. It's got a nice snap retaining strap here. This is actually pretty good. It's never failed on me. It's very sturdy, actually, in my opinion. And it's got a sizable belt loop of about 2 inches. So it's a dangler, so I like that. It's not gonna get caught and come off. So I've never had a problem with a belt not fitting in here. I don't tend to wear super large belts. Mine's right now about an inch, a little bit more than an inch that I'm wearing right now. So no real issues here. Just a pretty standard nylon sheath. And it's got some rivets here for extra durability, I suppose. The knife itself has a 90-degree spine, so it throws sparks off, and it's pretty sharp. So it throws sparks off a ferrocerium rod very well. In fact, if you look at my knife, you can see all sorts of stains and stuff, because this was my everyday belt knife that I was carrying outdoors for about 2 years. So this has been used many times in a ferrocerium rod, and it works great. Don't believe the stuff that says stainless steel doesn't work with a ferro rod. That's a bit of a misconception. If I remember correctly, just for flint and steel, you need a high carbon steel blade, like something such as my Kniff Bushcraft Black. So if you wanted to use this blade with flint and steel, it's not going to work particularly well, but with a ferrocerium rod, it's perfectly adequate and it works very well. Going to the grind of the blade. Keep in mind that this is supposed to be a camp knife, not a bushcraft knife, so I wasn't expecting a Scandi grind or anything like that, but because of the nature of the hollow grind, it's not going to be quite as good working with wood as a Scandinavian grind blade is going to be. With that being said, it is a little bit more versatile than a Scandi grind knife. I've actually, as a broke college student, I've used this quite a bit of times as a food prep knife, and it works admirably for that. So if you need a knife that you can do general tasks around the camp, like food prep, some light bushcraft and stuff like that, it's going to work. Now, I'm certainly not saying that this cannot make feather sticks. It can, and that brings me to another point that I wanted to mention regarding Bushcraft. This knife is tough. I have batoned it through, God, I don't even know how many logs. In fact, I've batoned it through logs that were like this big, which is not something that you should do or I would recommend usually with a knife, but I just wailed on it. I would get it stuck and I would smash the hell out of it with another stick, and it has never bent, it has never chipped, nothing like that. It really is a very, very strong knife. So I have also the tip itself. It's a drop point blade, pretty, low key drop point, but it is. I've stabbed it in wood and twisted it around, and as you can see, I haven't broken the tip or anything, which is quite nice. So very sturdy blade. I've dropped it on stone. I've chucked it at things. It's never chipped or broken or anything like that. Not even the edge has never rolled, despite the relative softness of the steel. So that is a very good aspect of this blade. And that kind of brings me on to the probably, in my opinion, the biggest con of this blade, and that is the steel itself. So 420 isn't usually a bad steel in my opinion. I don't do metalworking. I'm not a knife maker. I don't do metallurgy or anything like that. I'm just a broke college student who loves bushcraft. But this hardness, this Rockwell level of 52 is pretty much often seen in like machetes and hatchets. And I prefer a slightly harder blade for camping and bushcrafting. So this blade dulls very, very quickly. After a couple uses on wood, I'll find that I need to resharpen it because it's so dull it could be a butter knife. On the flip side though, because of the softness of the steel, it's very easy to resharpen. I typically use something like this very well-loved Worksharp field sharpener, and because of the softness of the steel, it only takes a couple passes on the ceramic rod or the diamond fine side if it's really dull to get it sharpened up, and then I use the strop to refine the burr and get rid of it, and it'll be right sharp enough for me to take hair off my arm and slice through paper like no one's business. But it does dull very, very, very quickly, and that's going to be a byproduct of the more budget steel that's used on this particular blade. So, verdict for the Camillus titanium knife, camp knife. I think that this is a good value blade for the price. At $10, in the $10 to $15 price range, the only thing that I've tested that beats this is of course, obviously, the Knife companion. But then again, I don't know of any knife that can beat the Mora in this particular category. But I've actually found that in my Midwest area, I cannot find the Mora knife at my Walmarts. So if you're on a very tight budget, or for some reason you can only shop at Walmart, maybe you're doing a Walmart survival channel, or you're in high school or something like that, and it's the only place you can go to and buy stuff, then I think that the Camillus titanium bonded camp knife is a pretty good beginner's knife because of its low cost and its strong durability. And I personally use this. I have a couple of these. I just toss them in my bug out bag, my camp bag, my fishing bag. I carry this while I'm fishing because I don't care if I accidentally drop it and lose it. I can use this for general purposes while fishing. I can also use it for protection, even though I carry other things on me for protection that I'm not going to talk about right now on this channel. But I think this is a very capable knife, and for the price, I think that it's quite good. If you're really going to go into deep woodworking and bushcraft stuff like that, I think you would be better served with a Mora knife companion or a Mora knife bushcraft if you have the disposable income for that. If not, I think that you can't really go wrong with this blade. It's only about $10 and it can do a lot of things, and it's a big knife, so I like it. It's capable, it's strong, But there are, again, some cons that you need to weigh with that. With that being said, that concludes my long-term review on the Camillus titanium bonded camp knife, and I will see you guys next time.